Welcome to Fright Night. For real. Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel. If you are new to this channel, it's basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video. And today, if you cannot tell by the t-shirt, is finally original versus remake for one of my absolute favourite vampire movies of all time, favourite horror movies of all time, and just one of my favourite movies of all time in general. And of course that is Fright Night. Yes, so this is going to be a very difficult one for me because I absolutely love both of these. So if you are new to this video and the series, basically with original versus remake, I discuss the original with you guys, my thoughts on it, give a quick plot overview, stuff like that. And then I give you my thoughts on the remake. Give you the plot overview of that and what I think about it and everything else. Then I decide which one I prefer. Do I prefer the original? Do I prefer the remake? Do I prefer both? So we'll get straight into it, starting with the original. Okay, so the original Fright Night, I remember watching this over my nan's because my nan used to own the VHS tape of it. This was actually one of my first vampire movies I'd ever seen. Now, just to give a quick plot summary. Basically, Charlie Brewster has a new neighbour move in next door, Jerry Dandridge, and Jerry is a vampire. Charlie finds this out and basically all his friends and family just don't believe him. So then of course he then goes to Peter Vincent for help. I won't give any more than that, but because I say I'll try and be a spoil-free channel. Sorry, the dog's currently having a drink. So I absolutely love this film. I remember when I first watched this, I was like, oh my god, I love vampires. Of course, Uni has to be in the video. Yes, I fell in love with vampires with this film. I even fell in love with Jerry Dandridge. He was, oh, he's so hot. In this one, he's played by Chris Sarandon, and I will say all the actors in this gave off such really good performances. I loved the plot of this film, and then there was also little bits here and there. The effects, for me, I think still hold up. They use quite a lot of practical effects, which I absolutely love. And yeah, this is just such a good vampire film, such a classic vampire film. One I recommend you watch, especially for the practical effects. The vampire lore is what it is. It's not one of those ones where it's changed, where it's like daylight rings or vampires sparkle. This is classic vampire horror. I mean, some of the faces still creep me out to this day because of the makeup, and it's just so good. But yeah, I love the plot to this film as well. The plot for this is amazing. I love all the characters. Peter Vincent, played by Roddy McDowall, he was really good in that film. Amanda Bees, who plays Amy, was really good. And Evil Ed, oh my god, I loved Evil Ed. He was hilarious. He was a good, fun side character. But yeah, overall this film is just so epic, and if you really want to get into the vampire genre, like classic vampire genre, not the modern ones, then this I definitely recommend you watch. Annie, what have you eaten? You better not have eaten anything. But no, this will always be an absolute classic for me. I always watch this around Halloween. I even try and watch it a couple of times a year. But yeah, so this is definitely one I recommend. And now to talk about the remake. Okay, so I remember going to see this in the cinema because I thought I loved the original Fright Night. Let's see what this one has in store. Now for me, normally remakes are either decent or they're terrible. This one was really good. I actually really enjoyed this remake. They made it their own, they modernized it, they did things differently to the original. Yes, there were a couple of lines, iconic lines from the original that were put into this one, which I think was amazing. but they didn't copy it. They made it their own. I mean, there were certain plot lines, like with Jerry and Amy, that they brought into this one, but I loved how they modernized it. I love how they added their own twists. Certain deaths happened earlier than in the original, which I think is amazing. This is what I want a remake to do. I want a remake to be similar with characters, maybe bring back a couple of lines, but put their own twist to it. Hence why I love this film. I say Colin Farrell as Jerry Dandridge, he was so good in this film. Made it his own character. He didn't copy the original Jerry Dandridge, he made it his own. Peter Vincent, played by David Tennant. Oh my god, this was one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this film, was for David Tennant. And he was hilarious. He made Peter Vincent so different from the original, and I love it. Charlie Brewster was different as well. Evil Ed was different, because one of the things they did differently this time around is that Evil Ed, well, his name's Ed, but his nickname's Evil Ed, was the one that found out about Jerry first, not Charlie. Which I think is pretty decent. It changes the dynamic, it changes everything around. Yes, the CGI can be a little bit but I will admit, I still think this is a really good film. So, like I said, they did make it their own. And then what makes it even better is, I don't know if many people know this. If you have seen the film, you probably do know this. But the original Jerry Dandridge, played by Chris Sarandon, is actually in this film. He makes a cameo. He is the car victim getting killed by the new Jerry Dandridge, which I thought was just so epic. I didn't realise this until I looked it up. I think it was like last year, because I was like, that guy looks familiar. And then I rewatched this a couple of years ago. I think it was last year actually, when I found out about it, and I was like, yes, that's the original Jerry Dandridge being killed by the new Jerry Dandridge. I thought that was an amazing funny thing. It's just hilarious, and it was just iconic to see Jerry Dandridge being killed by Jerry Dandridge. But yeah, so honestly, this is such a good remake. This is one of those ones where I'm like, I actually really enjoyed it. I loved how they made it their own, and I'm just very passionate about both these films. And for this, like I said, all the actors in this were really good as well. And yeah, let's just say I would happily watch this over and over again, like I would the original. So now here comes the hard part. Choosing. Do I go original, or do I go remake, or do I go both? This time around, it's going to probably be the most unique one ever, because I can't think of any other remakes that I enjoyed just as much as the original, where it's going to be both. I picked both these films. I cannot choose between one or the other. I really enjoy both of these films. So for me, it's just honestly so good. Both, even though with the same characters, some similar lines, both different. I honestly, this is why I have to choose both. I cannot pick between one or the other. I mean, yeah, there'll be some days where this one is definitely a little bit higher than this one. But yeah, what can I say? I absolutely love both these films. Don't make me choose between them. It's too difficult. And yeah, so rewatching these the other day. I need to rewatch this today because I fell asleep last night watching these. But yeah, honestly, both these films are really good, and I definitely recommend watching them both. But watch this one and then the remake, just so you can understand the Jerry Dandridge cameo just that little bit more. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel and you enjoyed this content and you want to check out more, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell to be notified when I post. And also leave me a comment down below which one is your favourite Fright Night if you've seen it. Is it the original? Is it the remake? Do you like both? What is it you like about them? What don't you like about them? Honestly, anything about Fright Night will be amazing, because talking to you guys about movies just makes things even better. And then when you guys, and I talk to you about them as well, and it's just, it makes me feel happy, and I love talking to people about movies because it's just such a big passion. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this original versus remake. Next week is Friday the 13th. I'll be doing the original versus the remake. For the simple fact of I'm actually nearing the end of watching all the Friday the 13th. I am got up to number 7 and there's 12 movies. So of course next week there will be a ranking. I look forward to giving you guys my thoughts on the Friday the 13th movies. Hence why there's going to be an original versus remake next week for it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next battle. Bye!